All right. Hello, everybody. And welcome back to the Versatility Podcast. I'm your host, JUUUUEEEEEEEEEEEEEEEEEEEEEEEEEEEEEEEEEEEEEEEEEEEEEEEEEEEEEEEEEEEEEEEEEEEEEEEEEEEEEEEEEEEEEEEEEEEEEEEEEEEEEEEEEEEEEEEEEEEEEEEEEEEEEEEEEEEEEeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeee refreshed this morning. Felt good. I feel refreshed. God is speaking to me, and I need to listen and receive and act on what he's speaking to me to do. But that's another thing. And yes, I'm using my little accent right there. I don't know if this is British or Australian, but it's a little bit something in between. All right, let me stop playing, y'all. But for real though, welcome back, everybody. I took a break last week because it was homecoming week, and woo, homecoming was lit. I'm not gonna lie, y'all. Homecoming was fun. I'm 21, so you already know what that can mean. I was a little drunk, I'm not gonna lie. Little tipsy drunk, you know what I mean? But it was cool. Met some people. Met some people from Howard. Met some people from New Jersey. Some people down south, I think. Got to talk to President Wilson, and that's going some content. I made some content with that. That's going to drop very soon on MSU Bear Pod. I think it's MSU, Bear Pod _MSU on Instagram. So make sure I go check that out. I'm the co-host for the Bear Pod, and I'm one of the original, I guess you could say, founders of it, because I made the original episode by myself and everything. Another accomplishment. I do a lot, along with being a God-fearing man. You see, I got the God is Dope hoodie on right here. Right, you already know the deal. But yeah, it's been pretty good. Life's been good. I'm sorry again that I missed last week, but again, I didn't make it official, but yeah, I did miss. I did say I potentially wasn't gonna do an episode because of homecoming and everything, and I had a lot of fun, and I would not have been able to do that. Also, my parents came through, so shout out to my mom and dad. They had their gear on and stuff of that nature for their respective Greeks organizations and everything, so that was cool. But I got to really talk to them and have fun with them. It was really cool. I thoroughly enjoyed homecoming. 155, we live. And make sure I go check out my Instagram. It's in the description. You already know it's always down there. At JUUUEEELLZZZ_IS. You already know what the deal is with that. Follow, the Twitter and all that type of stuff too. It's all in the link tree. Y'all know. Y'all should know this by now. It's always there every single episode. But before we get into it though, because we got the news today segment. One thing I do want to say is that I was just watching football because it's Sunday. I record these on Saturday or Sunday, but 9 out of 10. It's probably Sunday. It might be starting to change on recording on Saturdays. So if I miss some information, things of that nature, it's probably because I recorded the day after or something of that nature. Today I'm recording on Sunday. And I'm not going to lie, I just saw the ending of this Giants game. I did not expect that. I really didn't. Like, the Giants just beat the Baltimore Ravens after they just beat my Packers the week before. Granted, their passing game, the Giants' passing game is not that good, but their defense is really solid. And their running game is super solid because of Saquon Barkley. Look out for the Giants. They're 5-1 now. Who would have thought going into the season that the Giants would be 5-1? They would be number one in the NFC. What is that? East. The NFC East. If it wasn't for the Eagles, who are 5-0 right now. They play today though. Eagles play today though. I think they do. They played a Cowboys at like 7, I think. It's either 7 tonight or like 7 tomorrow. Oh, 8 tonight or 8 tomorrow because I'm on Eastern Standard Time. But the NFL been wild. I feel like it's been a whole bunch of like really close games. Like a lot of down to the wire games. It's very entertaining, addicting at that. And I literally on Sundays, I just sit here and watch the games all day. Unless I have to record a podcast, then I go do that, of course. But I love football, but when basketball season starts, which we're going to talk a little bit about that towards the end of this episode, just, my idea of what the standings are going to look like, because y'all know I'm a huge basketball fan. I've talked about basketball several times. But, again, I try to spread it out a little bit, so because I know not everybody's a basketball fan. But it's something that I love, and I know other people love hearing my opinions on it every now and then and stuff. So I try to sprinkle it in there, like Salt Bae and everything. But yeah, so let's get right down to business, because I got some stuff for y'all today. And to start off, we have for the News Today segment, Biden pardons all federal offenses of simple marijuana possession. I know, right? It's happening. It's happening, everybody. Now, personally, I don't smoke and things of that nature, but this is big. This is really big. Like, I know a lot of people who smoke or partake in drugs and things of that nature. And this is a big step. This is a huge step. Now let's get into the details. So basically, he just started off by saying they're going to change things for marijuana and stuff of that nature, right? But then once he got to the details, this is on an Instagram reel that I saw on Hood Ratchet TV. Yeah. So basically, he's going to take these steps in 3 parts. So part 1, which is what I just told you, he's pardoning all federal offenses of simple marijuana offenses. So basically, people can get jobs, housing, etc. And marijuana charges, they disproportionately affect black and brown people compared to white people, which is what we knew already, because it'd be petty crimes. They'll have, I don't even know how the labeling goes, the weighing goes, like a gram or an ounce or something of that nature. And, now they're in jail for a petty crime. Now that's on their record. Now they can't get a job, or on a housing application, because you have to do like background checks and things of that nature. Now you can't get a house and things of that nature, because not everybody can just buy the stuff outright, So then they have to get a loan and all that stuff. And then it ends up backfiring for them because of that one possession charge. Like, it's not even like pounds on pounds on pounds of marijuana. It's just like an ounce or something of that nature. Again, I don't know the weighing system and things of that nature, but like it's really petty, if anything, which is why they literally, I said petty, yeah, like basically petty offenses. No, I didn't say petty, but still, basically these are petty offenses and stuff. And he's pardoning all these, so because it just doesn't make sense. And we're gonna get more into the fact that the marijuana thing as a whole really doesn't make any sense, especially because nobody from my recollection and from what I've seen and what I've done my research on, nobody dies from marijuana. And I'll dive more into why I think the classification of marijuana is a little bit stupid, but that's in part 3 of it. But let's go to part 2, which is really simple. Part 2 is he calls for states to do the same with the pardoning of the offenses of simple marijuana offenses and possessions. Y'all know what I'm saying. It's a big. I'm telling y'all, it's a really big step. It just, yeah, I think states should do this. Like, I just did my mail-in ballot for Wisconsin. Woohoo! Yeah, I know voting. Voting takes a lot of time to make sure if you really want to look at the candidates and really see what they are and what they do, and more than just a little surface level. I still got to do better at staying consistent with that. But I turned in my mail-in ballot, and the last question on there was, hey, do you want? They said it in such a complicated way, but they basically said, hey, do you want to decriminalize marijuana? And I'm like, yeah, why not? Because it's like, why not? Because it's like, I don't see a reason as to why it's that bad of a thing. Now, personally, I don't think you should be doing marijuana like every single day, because if you use it as a crutch, then I think that's when that's a problem. But it's a problem in the sense of like you're doing too much with it. It's not gonna kill you or anything like that. It will start slowing down your systems and your lungs and all that type of stuff. Not as much as like cigarettes and for alcohol, liver and things of that nature. But it's still, it's like, bro, like, you clearly need something more than just marijuana at that point. Whether that's God, Jesus, whether that's mental health counseling, whether that's just a better, deeper look into what's going on in your own life. I think that's a thing. But like, if like people who like smoke it like once a week or something of that nature, like maybe a few times out the week, I don't really see why that's that much of a problem for real. If I'm being completely honest, because it's like, again, it's not killing you. It's not like some of these other drugs. And then that gets me to part 3 of what Biden was saying about trying to, decriminalize marijuana. He calls for the review of the classification or schedule of marijuana. Right now, it's in class 1, which is heroin and LSD level, and is ranked higher than fentanyl. So let me just talk about this real quick. So basically, drugs are classified into schedules. Schedule basically means classification, same difference, like sophomore, junior, senior, yada, yada. With the schedules, there are 5 schedules. So schedule 1 is the highest and the most like offensive, right? So right there, it's here, and hear me out here. Marijuana, ecstasy, heroin, LSD, and peyote or whatever it is, right? So those are by the government's classification. That is the highest. Those are the drugs. No. Don't do it at all. Which really doesn't make sense if the fact that there's literally weed dispensaries in multiple different places. You don't see heroin dispensaries anywhere. I don't remember seeing heroin dispensaries anywhere and things of that nature. But I think that there's something deeper with marijuana. I think it was something that kind of like with how alcohol at one point was being such like because of prohibition. It was like painted as such a bad thing, and some people's gonna steal your wife, or I don't know. It was some BS that America did. America does so much BS with that. But not even just America, because marijuana is like not legal in a bunch of other places, if I'm not mistaken, as well. Which again doesn't make sense if it doesn't kill you. I mean, ecstasy, heroin, LSD, and peyote. I don't even know what peyote is, but those. I'm pretty sure those can kill you, but I don't see marijuana killing you. I know people do it every day. Like what? Like that doesn't make any sense. Because in Schedule 2, because y'all didn't even hear me say this yet. Schedule 2, methamphetamine, cocaine, fentanyl, Vicodin, oxycodone, and Adderall. The side effects from those are way worse than marijuana. Yet marijuana is somehow Schedule 1 or Class 1? Doesn't make any sense. Then we got Schedule 3 is anabolic steroids, testosterone, and then ketamine. Schedule 4, Xanax, Ambien, Ativan, and Valium. Then Schedule 5 is cough suppressants. Again, doesn't make any sense. It really does not. It does not make any sense at all, and it needs to be changed, and Biden's right. Like, he literally called for the review of the classification or schedule of marijuana, because that does not make any sense. The fact that marijuana is higher than meth, cocaine, and fentanyl, Vicodin, oxycodone, and Adderall, that's a problem, man. That's a problem, and that's a systemic problem. I mean, we know America has a lot of systemic problems, but that's really insane, dude. That's really insane. Whenever you hear somebody smoke marijuana, you can maybe judge them or whatever, but they're not gonna kill themselves or anything of that nature. Like I don't walk in, like when I hear somebody just saying smoking weed or something, I'm like, oh no, they probably good. They're just going through something. I can get it. I get it. But if you say you doing meth, I'm like, boy, you crazy. If you say you doing cocaine, I'm like, oh no, you're wilding. If I see you saying you doing fentanyl, you're tripping. Bro, you are absolutely tripping. If you say you doing Vicodin, oxycodone, or Adderall, I'm also like, yo, what? Like, you're bugging. Like, you're bugging, bro. Like, what are you doing? You're bugging. Like, that don't make no sense at all. Fix it. Biden's calling for them to reclassify, because that doesn't make any sense. That literally does not make any sense, bro. Since when you ever walk up to somebody, oh, you really gotta stop smoking that weed for real. It's gonna kill you. Guess what I will say that for? Cocaine, meth, fentanyl, I'll say that for ecstasy, heroin, LSD, and I don't know what peyote is, but I would assume peyote as well. Even Xanax. Like, that's all the way in Schedule 4. Marijuana is Schedule 1. That doesn't make any sense to me. At all. At all. Marijuana's not even addicting. Not nearly as addictive as these other ones. Now, in my opinion, I feel like anything can get you anything you can get addicted to anything. Sorry, that's what I was trying to say. Jesus, English is hard. But you can get addicted to anything, but marijuana, from what I researched and what I've been told and from what I remember, it doesn't have like anything that makes you become addicted to it. Cocaine, it has that. Heroin, it has that. Adderall, I think it has that as well. But like it doesn't make any sense to me. And I'm glad that Biden is addressed the situation, because it needs to be addressed. And Vice President Harris also said something as well, and she basically, and I quote, she said, "No one should have to go to jail for smoking weed." Now, I know that's just a basic quote overall, but still, it's a big thing that she literally said that verbatim. No one should have to go to jail for smoking weed. That's a big thing for the vice president to say. And then the president to also say that. I mean, the president said that, and then the vice president said that as well. I think that is, that's really big. That's really big. And that means if they say don't go to jail, that means not prison by default. You have to go to jail to go to prison unless you really got processed real quick. Yeah, that's big. That's really big. And I'm glad that this is happening. But the one thing that I am worried about, and I've talked to some other people about this as well, is I'm worried about how they're going to go about the regulation of it. Because if you make it legal and everything, then you're taking it away from some of the impoverished communities who make money off of it. Granted, of course, doing it through some vendors or whatever, random people and stuff, they could, of course, add stuff to it, which can make it actually dangerous. But weed by itself isn't that dangerous. But if you add stuff to it and everything and try to, mix it together, all that type of stuff, that's when it gets dangerous. But back to what I was saying. But when you legalize it, the government's going to try to legalize it in a way where they can commercialize it. So then they get to make money off of it. You see what I'm saying here? So then how much more is weed going to cost now? Is there a penalty still for selling weed without paying taxes and all that? Well, actually it probably is, because it's going to be tax credit and everything. But I'm saying, how much is the government going to take over? How much are, just being blunt, white people are going to take over it? How much are they going to take over it, and then taking it out of the hands of other people who made a lot of money off of it, but now because it's legal, how are they going to be able to crack the industry? You know what I mean? Because that, there's levels to this stuff. There really is. So yeah, there really is levels to this, and I'm very interested to see how that's going to go moving forward. But moving on to the next News Today topic, which is the biggest one that I think is, and I've been waiting for a while to talk about this as I came back about, 2 months ago now, because today's date is October 16th. I gotta call him back. Jesus. Is the Russian or Russo-Ukrainian war. For those of you who don't know, yeah, I know that's my favorite thing to say. This war started February 22nd, 2022. But it's an extension of the original 2014 war. Russia was trying to take it over and everything, and Ukrainians like, no. And Russia does have a part of, but has territory of a part of Ukraine and everything. But because of this, this main war started, I'm about to tell you why it's important. But this main war basically started because they were trying to prevent Ukraine from joining NATO. NATO is the United Nations type stuff. Actually, let me make sure I'm saying this correctly. NATO, what is the what's it? NATO is North Atlantic Treaty Organization, intergovernmental military alliance between 30 member states, 28 European and 2 North American. It was established in the aftermath of World War II. The organization implemented the North Atlantic Treaty signed in Washington, D.C. on April 4th, 1949. Basically, it's a collective security system. I just read that off of Wikipedia. Basically, it's a United Nations type thing, basically. But if Ukraine joins NATO, then the U.S. would basically have a territory right next to Russia to easily invade because the U.S. is a part of NATO. So then they can spy on, invade, or just be a threat in general to Russia. Which, if y'all know Russia by now, especially after the Cold War and all that stuff, they ain't going for that, bro. Like they not going for that, bro. Like, it's like Russia's like, yo, like, we not stupid, bro. Like, if you basically are a part of that, then you could put your U.S. troops there. You could put all this different type of stuff here. So no. We're just gonna invade Ukraine and not even give them the chance to sign the papers to join NATO, right? So then they basically said, as a cover up, because at first Russia kept denying the fact that they were gonna invade Ukraine, and then they put it off because, February 2022, that's the Olympic Games, 2 years after the regular Olympics, where the regular Olympics got canceled because of COVID and all that type of stuff. But the regular Olympic Games, the Winter Olympics ended up postponing Russia invading Ukraine because Russia, out of respect for its allies, like China and stuff of that nature, they decided not to invade, to not take away the spotlight of the Winter Olympics. But I guarantee you, as soon as the Winter Olympics ended, it was like a few days later, like literally the day after or something, they invaded. And Putin, Vladimir Putin, was the president of Russia, basically the main leader, prime minister, whatever you want to call him. He said that they invaded for a special military operation, that was verbatim, for the demilitarization and denazification of Ukraine, which is just not true. Ukraine's not Nazi. If anything, if anybody's gonna be Nazi, it would be, I'm not gonna get into that. But but basically they had a so once this war started, there was a big battle for like Kyiv and everything, right? Kyiv, which is their capital, that's Kyiv, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, that's how you spell that. There's another spelling as well. I can't remember which one was the proper one that they wanted to go for, because Kyiv was named one way, but then the Ukrainians were like, no, let's change it to what we actually want it to be called, which is, it's Kyiv, but it's just spelled a weird way. Like, that's why I think it's this one. But basically there was a big battle for Kyiv and Crimea and other key cities in Ukraine. Ukraine was getting their butts kicked. Like, they were getting their butts kicked. And I was following all this through NPR's Up First. I listen to it every day. I've been slacking a little bit recently, but I listen to it like every day, every morning, and they give me updates on like the top 3 news stories. I know I've mentioned this prior on the podcast, but that's how I kept up with this war. It's irritating because it's like, what does this really have to do with me? But I'm not gonna lie, hearing some of the stories with this, it's really crazy, man. It's like the things that Russia was doing in Ukraine is like it really is just like insane. Yeah, but Ukraine was losing badly at first, and the U.S. and Europeans were giving away aid to Ukraine, but no soldiers though, because if they put soldiers in, that makes them. It's like with World War I and II. Once you really put soldiers there and everything, that's when things become real. Because like in World War II, we were just delivering weapons and stuff to everybody to fight Germany. But once they bombed us in Pearl Harbor and stuff, that's when we was like, oh nah, we really got to join now, because now this is more than just us supplying weapons, because we're just in a, not a treaty, but we're in alliance with them. It's like, oh, you attacked us in Hawaii, so now we really coming in this war and we gonna end this joint, and that's what we did. And then nuclear bombs and all that stuff later. But basically, yeah, so they give them a lot of weapons. They give them like tank weapons. I mean, like tank destroyer weapons, drones, and all that stuff. At first, they didn't have enough. Then we were giving Ukraine millions and millions of dollars. I'm talking about hundreds of millions of dollars to help them. And it was like, I remember at one point I was like, a lot of people were like, yo, we giving them all this money, but what about money to like the black community or Latinx community or or to our roads and infrastructures and all that type of stuff, but we can give money to them. And sometimes I would say back to people, or like maybe I wouldn't say to their face, but like I would think in my head, I'm like, y'all don't realize, like, if Russia wins over Ukraine, like that could really be bad. Like this war is very important, like really important. Also, another reason why Russia invaded Ukraine is because they already won them anyway, and they had the 2014 war, and they wanted that territory anyway, so nobody can get close to them. You know what I mean? But yeah, so then just more about this also is Russia basically, like, before they went into when they first got into the war, the whole world was condemning them. Like, everybody was giving them sanctions. Everybody was giving them sanctions from the U.S., NATO, Europe, and more. Like, this resulted in the rise in gas prices. Like, everybody wonders why gas prices went up. It's because of Russia. Like, and well, actually, it's because of us, which is because of Russia invaded Ukraine. Because we were like, yo, if you do it, we will impose sanctions and stuff. We will mess up your economy. And we did mess up their economy. But they was like, no, because we know how important it is that this Ukrainian ground is. This Ukrainian land is, because y'all could really mess us up if y'all get this land. And we know we can mess them up with that land. You see what I'm saying here? It's like with gangs or something like that, right? Or not even gangs. It's like Clash of Clans, right? If you get a certain part of someone else's land, you know that you can put in that final strike and really take down what you need to take down. Or if y'all ever played, is it Clue? I think, no, it's not Clue. It's some game that I play with my family's watching. Y'all know what I'm talking about. It's like a game where you have these pieces and everybody has different territories in the world. It's like domination. I don't remember what it's called right now. But, those different places, and then, like, basically you have to be strategic in where you put your pieces so you can invade that next country. I don't remember what the game is called right now. I think it's not Clue. It's something else. I can't remember. All right, doesn't matter. We're doing a podcast, so I gotta keep going. But basically, if you get a territory that's right next to the enemy's territory, and you are able to just stock up and everything right there, and they can't really do nothing about it because it's NATO territory and stuff like that, then, like, all you got to do is just sit there and wait. And as soon as they do something stupid, now, boom, you got to sneak up on them. Like, even though, of course, they're going to know that that they have area over there, it's still like the fact that they have the area over there, and there's nothing that they can do about it. There's nothing that Russia can do about it. So again, we crumbled their economy and stuff of that nature. But again, Russia just was like, nah. Because Russia is one of the leaders in gas supply in the world. And some countries like Germany, I remember, like Germany was like, yo, we still got to use Russia's gas. Like, we really need it. And gas prices, y'all saw how high gas prices rose. If Russia didn't invade Ukraine, this wouldn't have happened. And the reason why the gas prices thing got even worse is because it made other things worse, because the economy was already starting to kind of go down. So then when you had the gas prices going down, you got the car market going super up right now. You got the housing market starting to climb back up again, because, that's the effect of after the post-pandemic, quote unquote post-pandemic. All that type of stuff is, it's having an effect. So all these things are rising and everything. Now you have to do, you got to raise interest rates and lower it and do all these different things to try to balance out the economy. But Russia's like, we're not backing down. So, like, y'all can make as many sanctions as y'all want or whatever, but we not getting out of this war. And again, they were winning at first, but Russia, they started losing ground and things of that nature. And because Ukraine got the support that they needed, and I'm not gonna lie, the fight of these Ukrainians, man, it's crazy. Like, I'm talking about Russia was doing some crazy stuff to them. And I'm not talking about regular war stuff. They were doing war crimes to them. I'm talking about they were bombing playgrounds, schools, killing innocent bystanders who were literally just surrendering and just at their homes and stuff, but then they got invaded and just killing them. Like, you're supposed to leave the citizens out of it. Like, that's something that in war, like, you're supposed to do. You're supposed to leave the citizens out of it. You can, like, you're like, hey, we control this area, but you're not supposed to kill regular people. Like, that's not cool. That's war crimes. And that's literally what they was doing. I remember there were several Russian officers who were literally known in this war and in past stuff for their harsh tactics, and they were literally on trial in Ukraine, and Ukraine was trying to get them to be tried for war crimes, for some of the nasty stuff that they were doing. Like, even right now, there's a war going, not a war going on. There's a fight for this nuclear plant that Russia has is in possession of. And bro, it's a nuclear plant. It's a nuclear plant. Meaning, if you fire off one wrong thing, that whole place goes kablooey, and that radiation goes all over the place. Now, granted, Ukraine has been in, like, what's it called? Ukraine has been in contact with the people at the plant and everything, and Russia says, yeah, we're not gonna do anything, blah, blah, blah. But I mean, bro, you don't know. And I know there was a fight over it for like months, because the people there, they still like get up and go to work and things of that nature, and go to work there and stuff, but Ukraine had possession of it. Granted, I fell off of paying attention to that story because I fell off of Up First for probably about a few weeks. But like, that's one of the things that was happening. Like, I'm telling, like, this war has crazy implications overall. And again, the Ukraine, they got their citizens to join and fight in the war. Like, it's not even like, you know, like in the US, like, they forced you to go to the war. Like, Ukrainians, their fighting spirit, it's something that's literally in movies, are like, yo, we are protecting our home. And they were pushing Russia back. Russia, one of the top powers of the world, the USSR. Like, yo, they were pushing back Russia. They were fighting. Like, they keep fighting, and they help gain ground on the Russians and stuff. But then, as recently, I think it was about a week or two ago, I think it was past week or two, Russia started, they was like, hey, we weren't using our full power, and that's why they're gaining ground on us. So guess what? We gonna start, like, really using full force and stuff. Now, full force, you know, that can start getting a little dicey, you know? Like, it can start getting a little bit dicey, you know what I mean? Because you got full force means that's borderline close to nuclear weapons. Which brings me to my next topic of World War III. This is not fun. I know we talked about this before about World War III, because before the pandemic happened, we were all, I remember Twitter was going crazy. That's when I first got into Twitter. Right after that part, and then during the quarantine a little bit, that's when I started getting into Twitter. I was, man, dude, because everybody had jokes about, oh, we laughing about all this stuff, but then when my butt end up with a hat on and in the war, I'm be looking sad as hell. You know what I mean? It's crazy. But basically, World War III is a possibility right now, because guess what? Ukraine is close to signing on to NATO. But Russia warns Ukraine / Kyiv and its which is its capital, that doing this will escalate things to World War III. The U.S. also said in return, basically, not specifically to that statement, but just, you know, because they got asked about it and things of that nature, they literally said that they will defend every inch of NATO's territory if and when it comes to that. And nuclear weaponry has basically been implied with Putin's threats, and the response that they'd get from the U.S. and NATO as a whole. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, like this is real. Like this is real. This is real. And we can't act like it isn't. I know we've been joking about World War III. We've been wondering when World War III is really going to happen. But the Cuban Missile Crisis was the closest we got to World War III in a while, because of the Cold War and just everything that was going on at that time. With the Cold War and the tensions got high, and Russia and the U.S., we have this interesting relationship. But as soon as one person sets off a nuclear warhead, that's dangerous. That is really, I can't stress y'all enough that World War III is practically the end of the world. We all had the capabilities of destroying whole cities with a nuclear bomb. Just look at Nagasaki. Or I think that's how you say it, yeah. Those two Japan cities, like, that ended World War II. And how many innocent people had to die? I don't think they had to, but at the same time, I understand the US's I stuttered like crazy. I understand the US's position on it, because it was like, y'all not backing down. We just took down Hitler and everything, and y'all not backing down. All right, bet. We gonna nuke you to get you to understand, like, this war is done, whether y'all like it or not. Not fight to the last breath. We not. No. We not doing that. We ending it right now. And if one person sets off a nuclear warhead, especially with Ukraine a part of NATO, if they officially sign now, yeah, that's not gonna be good. That's not gonna be good at all. And Russia's a big country. Russia really look like a continent, if we're being honest. Yeah, that's not. Yeah, that's yeah, that's not good at all. What are the 7 continents again? Maybe I'm tripping. What are the 7 continents? What North America, South America, Asia, Europe, Australia, Africa, Antarctica. Yeah, I almost tripped for a second there. Yeah, I almost tripped for a second there. But yeah. So do y'all think World War III is gonna happen? Do y'all? I'm curious. I'm gonna post a question underneath on the on Spotify and everything. I asked a question. I just asked a question to y'all. Like, do y'all really think World War III is gonna happen? Because it's a possibility. It's starting to look like one. Now, I always will not believe. I always will stay optimistic, and I don't think anybody wants World War III, because they know how detrimental that can be to the world as a whole. I mean, we're already killing ourselves with this global warming stuff and the greenhouse gases and the gases and toxins we release into the air. Also, smoking really does affect the air as well. Exhaust, nuclear plants, all these different things. And then we add on nuclear war. Just the aftermath toxins and radiation from a nuclear warhead, if that is put down in even one place, especially in the US with everything being so connected, like, if we're being honest, I can't recall a US city being like bombed before in the mainlands. Now, we got Pearl Harbor, but I can't recall a whole city just going kablooey, basically. we're blessed in the U.S. Like, we really are compared to other places like Africa, decimated several times. Places in Europe have been decimated, especially in the Middle East. Places just decimated by bomb strikes and everything. Having to hide from shelling and things of that nature. We've been blessed. And I think when that hits us, if it does, and hopefully not, if we get hit by bombs in one city or something like that, man, I don't know. I think that's gonna be a big wake up call for a lot of people. And you know what the crazy thing is? Like, in my head, one of the first things that popped up was that if we get bombed, I guarantee you there's gonna be people on Twitter cracking jokes and stuff, and then people defending them and us being at each other instead of with each other. Because instead of ignoring the tweet or the post or whatever, we're just gonna keep condemning each other or arguing or bickering. Like, just leave it alone. That person clearly just trying to get a reaction. And if he's not trying to get a reaction and he's really thinks that, then that's just even worse. Don't yell, have a conversation. But yeah, we're already 40 minutes into the podcast and everything, and let's go off to the next topic. Just got one more little topic regarding everybody's a lot of people's favorite artist and favorite just really great artist, musician, really is, but he been tripping, y'all. He been that man been tripping. If you know, Kanye West. That man is tripping, bro. Again, for those of you who don't know, he's wearing White Lives Matter shirts. And he's supposed to be selling them and everything. He's supposed to be selling them. He got Candace Owens wearing them. And Candace Owens is a major hard right Republican person. And like, I think she's in the news and media and everything as a whole. If Kanye is messing with Candace Owens, I don't even want to. Just search Candace Owens Twitter. Yeah. Search Candace Owens Twitter, and then that'll tell you all you need to know about her. And then you also had Lauryn Hill's daughter. Yes, the Lauryn Hill. Lauryn Hill's daughter, Sella Marley. She also was wearing a White Lives Matter shirt. Now, of course, Ye said back in return after the backlash and everything, he said, it was more so a joke and said, it's an obvious thing. Well, if it's an obvious thing, then why are you wearing the shirts anyway? It's like you're supporting it. That's weird, bro. That's weird. Because it's implicit. Like, nobody has to say White Lives Matter because we know they do. But we have to say Black Lives Matter because do they? They're supposed to. Really, all lives matter, and that should be implicit. But we have to specify Black lives because of the fact that do we really matter? Do we matter? I'm trying to figure it out because you're not like it's not making sense. It's not making sense to me, Like it really is not making sense to me. So why, Kanye, are you wearing those White Lives Matter shirts? I don't get it. I don't know. I don't get it. I don't get it. I don't get it, Kanye. And of course, you don't have to explain anything to me. That's fine. That's fine. I get that. But I don't know. I mean, here's something else he said on this. He said on an interview on Fox News interview. Oh, how surprising. Fox. They're looking for an explanation. As an artist, you don't have to give an explanation, but as a leader, you do. So the answer to why I wrote White Lives Matter on the shirt is they do. It's an obvious thing, which is what we just said. I, it just, it's like, why? Like, I don't get it, bro. Like, bro, like, I don't. He got interviewed by Tucker Carlson. Again, another super right-wing guy. Like, I don't. Whatever, bro. Moving on to the next part. This is a whole. Hold on. How many points I have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I have 5 points to go over with Kanye. 5 whole points. I've talked about it on WAA. I talked about it on Bear Pod, and now I'm talking about it on here. And then I've talked about it with friends as well. Like with some of my 2 main friends who are Kanye fans who've been on the podcast, Jalen and Tracy. Even after seeing this stuff, they look like, yo, I ain't got nothing to say no more. And they've been defending Kanye, especially Tracy's been defending Kanye for a while now. And Tracy's my guy, and I appreciate that's his favorite artist. I understand. Because if J. Cole or Chance started doing some crazy stuff, to an extent, I'd probably be like, bro, you just got to wait for him. I know his mom died and all that type of stuff, which for Kanye, his mom died, and he has all this trauma and stuff. He's bipolar disorder and stuff. But at some point, we got to hold the man accountable, bro. And at the very least, I'm going to just leave it alone at some point. I'm going to let somebody else handle it because there's a certain point to when you can't even acknowledge it anymore. You have to let them come to you. Because you said what you said, you have to let them come to you at some point because clearly they don't get it. And he don't get it. So then here's my second point with Kanye and everything, right? I'm going to go to P. Diddy. P. Diddy's text messages. Ye basically posted their text messages on Instagram. Told him he'll post anything that he texts him. And Diddy was basically trying to meet up and talk. So let me just go over what the messages were. All right, so Puff was like, because Kanye has him labeled as Puff. He was like, nigga, send me your address. Let's stop playing these internet games and don't feel threatened. You'll be fine. Just love. Excuse me. Need some water. I've been talking, man. And then Ye was like, this ain't a game. I'm going to use you as an example to show the Jewish people that told you to call me that no one can threaten or influence me. I told you this was war. Now go and get you some business. Hold up. Okay, hold on. I shouldn't even. Okay, let me finish. Because we're gonna go about the Jewish thing real quick. Puff was like, I'm just trying to talk to you as a black man, and I'm talking to you because this is hurting our people. Stop. Anything, and then Ye literally said back, anything you text, I will post. I love you. And you guys are breaking my heart. I accept your apology in advance. I don't get it. I'm gonna read some more, and this is what Ye said as well. He said, I didn't like our convo. I'm selling these teas. Nobody gets in between me and my money. This is my grandfather texting you now. Never call me with no bullshit like that again unless you ready to greenlight me. Cause anybody who got on that tea is me. Out of respect for everything you've meant to me, I'll be quiet as Virgil. But now I know how I've hurt people I love with threats. And then he said another text, come do something illegal to me now, please. And then there's one more from Puff. He said, as soon as I land, we'll meet face to face. Send me your address. Then he literally said, nigga, fuck you. You a fed. He said, nigga, fuck you. You a fed. Or no, you fed. Not you a fed. But either way, again, this hurt. This hurts, man. This really hurts. And P. Diddy was just trying to, like, Puff was just trying to, like, he was just trying to, like, you know, he's trying to be a friendly to Kanye. He's trying to, like, he was just trying to show up for him, you know? He trying to talk to him. He was just trying to talk to him really as a man, like not even trying to like be hostile or anything. And all he wanted to do was just say, I'm not, he basically said like, yo, I'm not talking to nobody. Like he basically was like, yo, if you're not trying to help me make money, or if you're trying to put a wedge between me and my money, then I don't want no parts to do with you. That's evil, man. I'm not gonna lie. That's some evil stuff right there. Yeah, that really, that's crazy. And then attack on the Jewish part of it, which Jewish is he been on an attack on Jewish people. It's kind of like how Nick Cannon said that stuff about Jewish people a while, anti-Semitic comics and stuff that stems from Nazis and all that stuff and all that. Oh Jesus, this gets even worse and worse every time I look at it. Basically, Kanye said he was going DEFCON 3 on Jewish people. I don't, bro. It's like I don't get it, bro. Like I really don't. I don't get it, bro. He said he's going DEFCON 3 on Jewish people, right? And he said he can't be racist towards Jews because Jews were originally black, which he has a point on that last part, which because everybody stems from Africa and everything. I get that. And if you don't believe that all people stem from Africa, then do your own research and you'll literally see it's literally everywhere. But bro, you can still be racist to them because guess what? Race is a social construct. Race is a construct that stemmed from black and white, and then from there it spread out. So now racist goes and refers to being that way to Jews, Mexicans, Asians, all that different type of stuff. So yeah, you in a way you can be racist to them. Now I don't think racist is probably the right word overall, but the way that we use it in this society, I guess yes, we'll say that. I think prejudice and discriminatory are probably the more appropriate words to describe what Kanye is being towards Jews and everything. And just the stuff that he's pushing, man, it really hurts to see this. And we're gonna talk about this on another podcast episode. But it's like if you've been through a struggle, as a race or as an ethnicity or anything of that nature, there's no reason in my eyes why you should be that way towards another race. Because that doesn't make any sense to me. You have been through the struggle, so why would you attack another race in the same way? What pisses me off too, and this stems further than just Ye, is the fact that there are Mexicans and Hispanics that are racist towards black people. There are Asians who are racist towards black people. Now, granted, I will admit, black people, too, we definitely have a problem with being a different way towards different races. I think all people have that in general. But I will say black people assimilate or, like, can be put in another culture way better than most other people. The jokes that we crack, though, we got to chill out on that. As a whole, we got to chill out with that. I will admit. We, as a collective, we need to chill out with that. But overall, if you put us in a room with other people from another race or culture, ethnicity, and all that type of stuff, we may crack jokes and everything. But overall, we're gonna be a part of it, and we're gonna like really assimilate and really, just join in with this stuff because that's just who we are as people. Because we throughout existence, African people, which I'm technically originally, I have roots in Africa and everything. I think everybody has roots everywhere now. Literally, like my skin color literally does not define who I am. And it shouldn't, but it does in this world because that's how it is. We have a shared experience because of the color of our skin, because no matter where we go in the world, somebody's probably going to clutch their purse, look at us weird or something just because of the fact that we are black. And then Arabic people or Middle Eastern people, that's the better way to say it, they have the same type of experience in a way as well, but it's a little bit different because they think that they're terrorists, whereas black people, they just think that we're just probably like more, what's the word? Just aggressive and things of that nature, right? So back to Kanye's part of it. It just doesn't make any sense as to why that we act the way that we do. wait, back up. I'm sorry. I just lost my train of thought. It really doesn't make sense as to why Kanye is being this way towards Jewish people and stuff, considering that you're supposed to be pro-black and things of that nature. Clearly, he doesn't. I don't even know if he is anymore because of the White Lives Matter stuff and just the fact that he's basically putting his bag over the respect of his peers and his people and everything. Again, it's not giving off good vibes. And then moving on to what this is part 4 of the Kanye off the rails. This Kanye off the rails segment and everything. It's crazy. He showed. Okay, so he posted a video of him showing an Adidas executive a porn video. Because he said one of the people in the porn video sounded like one of the people in the porn video was the porn stars, or one of the porn actors sounded like one of the executives of Adidas, and he showed it to the guy. And he posted the video. Okay, I get that, but it's like, bro, like, why are you doing that in a meeting? Like, maybe you want to put that to the side. Like, like that's something I'm talking about with like organizations as a whole. I'm like, there are certain things you put in like. There's some things you talk about one-on-one, or like or with the hired people first, and then you bring it down from there if it needs to be brought down from there. And that's one of those situations where it's like you could have, like, if you're gonna bring it up, even if at all, you could have did that in a text, could have did it in a call, you could have waited till after the meeting and showed them that. And on top of that, the fact that you posted the interaction, that's just weird, dude. That's weird. Like, bro, that's weird. Like, that's really weird. Like, I did not like that. That is weird, bro. You got to be stopped, dog. And then the last thing on Kanye's little off the rails thing is on LeBron's show, The Shop. They decided not to air Kanye's episode due to his spread of hate speech because of his anti-Semitic views he shared on there. And one of the first things that I thought about this is because Maverick Carter, who's one of the producers of the show, or another main executive producer of the show, he basically was like, yo, like, he made a statement. I've never seen The Shop literally cancel an episode because of somebody's views on something. I think that is insane. Like, that is really insane to me. That's insane. Like, that's really insane to me because of his hate speech and the things that he said. They had to cancel the episode. They couldn't post it. They just couldn't. They couldn't post it, man. They couldn't post it. And that is insane to me. That is really insane to me that it got that bad. It's that bad. To the point where they was like, nah, we can't post it because it's just, we don't promote hate speech. That's insane. Because he must have done it several times because you can cut out stuff, but like, oh my gosh. And what makes it worse is that Maverick Carter, he said literally him and his people, they checked up on Kanye several times, like a week before, a day before or something. Yo, are you good to shoot the episode? Like, no mess, no. He's like, yeah, I'm good. And then he showed his ass. Like, he showed his ass. Like, he really did. He really oh my gosh, this is bad, bro. And again, back to like one of the things that really came up in my mind, it was like, how uncomfortable how uncomfortable was that for the people on the episode hearing this? Like, did they combat what he said? Did they talk about it? Did they be like, yo, are you good? Like what do you mean by what you're saying? And I don't get it, dude. Like, I really don't get it. It doesn't really make any sense to me overall, but yeah, hold on. Yeah. All right. Y'all didn't notice it, but my roommate had came in real quick, so I had to pause it real quick. But yeah, what's going on with Ye, man? Like, what's really going on with him? What's really going on with him? Like, 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 what's really going on with him? And I don't I literally have in my notes, like, can we even defend him anymore? I don't think we can. There's nothing to defend anymore. I think we just have to let it be what it is, because he's gonna do him at the end of the day. He's proven that time and time again. He's gonna continue to do him. And me, I'm a praying man, or I'm a Christian, and Christians, we pray. I'm not super religious, more so than I am a man of faith. Something I did today. Again, I went to River Church, Baltimore. It's on my wristband. You can't really see it because I know it's super far, but really good church. I'm gonna definitely probably keep going and everything. But we should pray for Kanye. And if you're not praying, then just wish him the best. Cover him. Whatever you can do, I would say just do that, because y'all do see me laugh a lot and things of that nature, but laughing is how I cope with things. It's how I kind of bring myself back, like wow, that's crazy. Like, I will laugh before I cry. I probably would chuckle a little bit. Before I get angry, I'll probably chuckle a little bit. Before I get jealous or really feel any emotion, I'll probably do that first. Make sure I'm not tripping. Like, wow, really? That's crazy, I feel like a lot of people do that. I just did an interview the other day, and she was doing the same type of thing. And I was like, oh, you good. I be doing the same thing, it's whatever. But yeah, what do we think about Kanye, Can we defend it anymore? I was trying to find a way to say this the right way, but I'm not going to say it. I'm going to just leave it at that. But we're an hour into the podcast, everybody. Woohoo! Yay! Oh my gosh! And got one more topic. Again, I told you earlier we're gonna start with the NBA stuff. Just talk a little bit about it, and then my favorite people going into the year. I know we just went from what did we went from? We went from marijuana being decriminalized slowly to the Russian-Ukrainian war. Then Kanye being off the rails, and now we're talking about the NBA season. The Versatility Podcast, am I right? The news today was just that was only the Biden and federal offenses thing, and then the Russian-Ukrainian war. Kanye thing was a separate thing. But again, NBA season starts Tuesday. And y'all know I am a huge, NBA fan. I love the NBA. I love it. I love the NBA. It's my favorite league, besides football. No, it's my favorite league. Yeah, it's my favorite league, including football. It's my favorite league. I love basketball, man. Basketball is my favorite sport. I like the way you dribble up and down the court, just like all right, let me stop playing around. But the NBA season starts Tuesday, October 22nd. The first two games are the 76ers versus Celtics at 7:30 p.m. Eastern time, and then that's followed by Lakers versus Warriors at 10 o'clock, 10 p.m. Eastern time, and both of those games are on TNT or Turner Sports, whatever you want to call it, or through Turner Sports. So I just want to talk a little bit about my standings and just what I think. Just quickly talking about my standings and who I feel like are the best teams going into the year. And I'm gonna just go right out the gate and say what I want. I'm gonna go do the West first, which I think is the easier conference at the moment. And I did my what is it called? My lists on the site through Enjoy Basketball. It's enjoypredictions.com. It's through Enjoy Basketball, which is Kenny For Real or Kenny Beecham or King of the Fourth Quarter. It's his brand and everything. It was just, he just loves basketball, and I love basketball, so I watch a lot of his videos. Shout out Kenny, man. I love Through the Wire. I watch it every week, both episodes every week when I have the chance. I love it. I love it. I intake a lot of media and stuff. I gotta stop watching so many funny videos a lot and do more research and stuff like that. But that's neither here or there. But for the Western Conference, I have Denver. Yeah, I got Denver number 1 because I think Denver's gonna be a force to be reckoned with. I think Denver has one of the most complete teams. I love the trade that they did to get KCP and who's the other person they got? They got KCP and someone else, and then they traded away Will Barton and Monte Morris. It was KCP and someone else. It was someone else that was pretty good too, though. And I love, like, they're just more sound. Like, they got the shooters. They got the defense. They got Bruce Brown in the offseason. That was a really good, underrated pickup. This team is nice. Like, this team is really, 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 really nice. I'm not going to lie. Then after Denver, we got Golden State. They're the champs. One more do I have to say. Now, we did have the Jordan Poole and Draymond Green incident thing, and I can lightly touch on that with Draymond Green sucker punching the heck out of Jordan Poole after they had like a little altercation. But they even dropped the video for that. The video leaked. And I didn't drop the video. The video got leaked, and they were like arguing and bickering, and then Draymond got in his face. Poole pushed that man, and then Draymond said, "Huh!" I was like, whoa, you're wildin'. Now I understand, like, because he pushed him and everything, that, I can understand the punch to a certain extent, but you don't sucker punch your teammate, bro. You can push back, but the sucker punch was a little crazy. I still like to hold people accountable on both sides, though. I feel like Poole definitely was probably being irritating before. Man, that man from Milwaukee, bro. I know he was saying crazy stuff. Apparently, he would say something about, "Hey, bro, I'm going to have the pool party at the crib, man. I'm going to have a pool party." And he kept saying the joke over and over again. And Draymond was like, "Nah, I'm humbling you, boy." But Draymond did wild out. You don't punch your teammate, bro. You don't punch your teammate. Even when Jordan did it, like, you don't punch your teammate, bro. And Jordan was the greatest player of all time, so I gotta stand that to an extent. I mean, Draymond is the heart and soul of that team, but he about to be on the way out because they also just extended Jordan Poole and Wiggins. So guess what? Jordan Poole is gonna get that little pool party anyway. So that little pool, so everybody got a pool party. Man, that's stupid, dude. Excuse me. But then at number 3, I have New Orleans. New Orleans Pelicans have one of the best starting fives in the league. C.J. McCollum, Brandon Ingram, Herbert Jones, a defensive menace, and just really sound player. Easily get you 10 points just by being around. Then you got Zion back. He's gonna average 25 to 30 points, probably 23 to 30 points. Because I don't know, he can eat buckets so easily, and he looks so fit. Like his face last year compared to this year, so much more chiseled. Like, you could tell the man really was in the gym. He said he's jumping higher, he's moving faster, feels better while going down, and man, dude, that team is dangerous. They got Jose Alvarado, Grant Theft Alvarado on the bench. Devontae Graham was probably gonna get traded, unless they find some use for him. Larry Nance, Trey Murphy, who's a sharpshooter. Man, dude, they are stacked. Man, that New Orleans Pelicans team is stacked. I know putting them at the 3 seed is a little crazy, especially over some of these other teams, but that's just how I feel, man. Number 4, we got the Clippers. Clippers have, again, another one of the best starting fives in the league. They just announced that they're gonna sit They're gonna sit John Wall. They're gonna make him the 6th man, basically 6th or 7th man. The starting five is probably gonna be. Let me think real quick. It's going to be Reggie Jackson, because they said they're going to start Reggie Jackson. Reggie Jackson, then probably Paul George. Reggie Jackson, Paul George, then Kawhi, then maybe Marcus Morris, and then their center, Ivica Zubac. Their closing lineup is probably going to be Reggie Jackson or John Wall, along with Norman Powell. Actually, it'll probably be a 2 of the 3. It'll be Norman Powell, John Wall, and or It'll be 2 out of 3 of them. It'll be 2 out of 3 of at the 1 and 2, Norman Powell, John Wall, and Reggie Jackson, and then below that, and then at the 3 we'll have Paul George probably. At the 4, Kawhi, and at the 5 it's probably gonna be Marcus Morris, or they're gonna put Kawhi at the 5 and put Marcus Morris at the 4. I think it depends what the matchup is. Ivica Zubac can go in and out, but those are like the main like 7-8 guys. And don't forget they have Terrence Mann off the bench still. They got the sharpshooter Luke Kennard as well off the bench. They got Robert Covington. Man, that team is stacked, dude. That team is stacked. But I have the Clippers get the 4 seed. Memphis is gonna get the 5 seed. I think they got some injuries and stuff. They could potentially slip into the play-in, but with John Morant just looks so good, man. And that team, for some reason, whenever they lose people, they end up having other people who can fill in the spots. We saw that last year, and they went all the way up to the 2nd seed. And they had a lot of injuries, and they still were there. You know, that makes me want to put them up higher. But I don't think they're going to be in the plan. And then here's where it gets a little dicey. As a 6th seed, I have the Minnesota Timberwolves. Now, I know that sounds a little crazy because, as you can see, I haven't named 2 teams who were literally just in the conference semifinals last year. But because of Minnesota having Rudy Gobert. But I gotta stop saying that. But because Minnesota got Rudy Gobert, I believe that is an interesting project. I have to see how it works first. And it seems like Rudy is still sagging off on them screens, and that is really going to hurt them. That is really, really going to hurt them. There's just the idea of Rudy Gobert because he can get you regular season wins. Anthony Edwards is going to be better. I do think missing Patrick Beverley is going to be interesting. But they still have D'Angelo Russell who can get the ball to Rudy Gobert so much easier than anybody on the Jazz could ever. Because that really D'Angelo Russell could average a double-double if we're being honest. And from the clips that I did see with Rudy and D'Angelo Russell playing, he was feeding Rudy Gobert, and Rudy, like, he posted up people. He was getting to the basket, like he was being aggressive. That Minnesota team could really be a danger. I'm just interested to see how they're going to be on with Cat at the 4. I think they should try running a zone, like a 1-3-1 or something. Maybe a 3-2, probably a 3-2. Especially for teams who they can't get out on the perimeter shots to. Maybe that running that 3-2 might work. But I like the team. They also got Kyle Anderson, who just left, who got traded from Memphis to there. Or no, they didn't trade him. They signed him, I think. But I like the idea of Minnesota. I don't think they're going to do all that work just to be back in the play-in. So that's why I got them as a 6 seed. And this is where things get dicey. I have Phoenix at the 7 seed. I know that sounds crazy, especially considering that, you know, they were just like had the best record in the league and yada, yada, yada. But like, I don't know. Some about this team is off to me. Now, granted, it could change and they could easily move up to like the 3 or 4 seed and move a lot of people down. But the team just off, and I feel like they're going to trade DeAndre Ayton midseason. I hope they do, actually. I hope he goes to the Pacers. I like that fit for him, especially with Tyrese Halliburton. Woo, that's nice. That's really nice. So, and I don't know. Chris Paul's getting older as well. Devin Booker is still a dog, but they're about to trade Jay Crowder too. I don't know. Something's just not feeling right. Also, Jay Crowder to the Hawks, apparently. That might be a thing. At number 8, I got Dallas because Dallas got worse. They didn't get better. They lost Jalen Brunson, who was their only other really main ball handler besides Luka. They had Spencer Dinwiddie as well, but Jalen Brunson was better at ball handling. Yeah, they need another ball handler. They got Christian Wood, but like, I don't know. Luka just doesn't have enough. But Luka in the play-in, I doubt that he's not gonna make the playoffs. There's just no way. There's no way that Luka's not making the playoffs. He's that good. Number 9, I got Portland. Out of respect for Dame, I put him in a play-in. I thought about putting them at the 11 seed, but nah. Then, as you can tell, I haven't named them yet. Then I got number 10 of the Los Angeles Lakers. So we have the 7-8 is Phoenix versus Dallas, and 9 and 10 we got Portland versus Los Angeles. I don't really know how that's gonna go, but I know Luka gonna get a spot. I know Luka's gonna get a spot in the playoffs. I don't know about the rest of them, but I know Luka's gonna get a spot in the playoffs. Phoenix probably gonna get the other spot. So I could see Portland and Los Angeles be on the way out. But if Dame does his job and then Anthony Simons, along with Jeremy Grant and stuff for the Trailblazers, really do what they're supposed to do, Nasir Little is really good too. Oh, they got Gary Payton the second. Yeah, that's gonna be interesting. It's gonna be interesting. Number 11, I got Sacramento. I just don't believe him. I got to see it first. Houston, they're cool, nice young team. Then I got San Antonio, then Oklahoma City and Utah. Houston, San Antonio, Oklahoma City, and Utah should all be trying to get Victor Wembanyama, if I'm being honest, who's the 7'6" prospect who literally can do everything, single thing on the court, and has a great IQ, and he looks like him every time he's on the court. When I say him, I mean Himothy. He looks like Himothy, all right? But that's my Western standings. To go back over it, I got Denver, Golden State, New Orleans, the Clippers, Memphis, Minnesota, Phoenix, Dallas, Portland, Los Angeles, Sacramento, Houston, San Antonio, Oklahoma City, and then Utah. And remember, I did this on enjoypredictions.com through Enjoy Basketball, which is through Kenny Beecham, a.k.a. Kenny Farrell, a.k.a. King of the Fourth Quarter. So then for my East standings, this is a little harder. And there's no bias in this. I'm being honest as a fan. This is crazy. People are gonna think I'm crazy for this. But number 1, I got Philadelphia. If James Harden is what he says he's about to be this year, working out and slimming down and throwing that cake out in the ocean and everything, they should probably be the number 1 seed, along with Tyrese Maxey also being that much better right now. Harden being a feeder, and on top of that, getting buckets when he needs to. Joel Embiid still playing at an MVP caliber. I don't see a reason why they shouldn't be the 1 seed. Number 2, which I know they're a wild card. I got Brooklyn Nets. It's the Brooklyn Nets, dude, and they look really good. They look really good, especially with Ben Simmons. I think Nicholas Claxton, if he plays defense the way he can, the way he should, and the way he's capable of, that team could be really, really, really good. Especially because they got Royce O'Neal off the bench. They still got Patty Mills, Seth Curry, TJ Warren. They got Kyrie, KD. That team is really a top 3 seed. There's no reason why they shouldn't be. And they should be contenders to win a championship. Number 3, I got Boston out of just respect because of the fact that they were that high. Granted, I did just realize that they might not have Al Horford or I might move them down. They might not. They're not gonna have Al Horford or Robert Williams for a little while. Robert Williams is gonna be out longer because he had knee surgery or something. He was already nagging him throughout the playoffs, so we'll see if he's ever gonna be the same. Hopefully, it's not the same situation as Isaiah Thomas. And he had commented something underneath with Robert Williams with that, saying like, "Hey, they told me the same thing, and now look, I'm basically out the league." I think Isaiah Thomas is on the Nuggets right now, if I'm not mistaken. Man, get you a ring, bro. Come to Milwaukee. Number 4, I got Cleveland. I'm not gonna lie, I might move Cleveland. You know what? I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna wait first. I'm gonna put Cleveland at the 4. They have Donovan Mitchell now. They got Evan Mobley still. They still have Jarrett Allen. They got Karis LeVert. Donovan Mitchell. Not Colin. Donovan, bro. A starting lineup. Oh, Isaac Okoro. A starting lineup of Darius Garland, Donovan Mitchell, Isaac Okoro, Evan Mobley, and Jarrett Allen. Oh, that's nice. And they're all like under like 27, I think. 27 or 28. They're all underneath that age. So, yeah, that team is dangerous, man. That team is dangerous, especially if they get into a groove early and then maintain that throughout the season, because now they have enough pieces to really withstand injuries and things of that nature, especially with the continued development of Evan Mobley and Jarrett Allen and Garland. And Donovan Mitchell is not even in his prime yet. Like, he's just scratching it. and he's already been like one of the best shooting guards in the league. He's number 2 probably. He's top 3. So yeah, number 5 I got Milwaukee. I know, right? I'm a Bucks fan. I got Milwaukee at 5. But honestly, like, I love our team. It definitely could use 1 or 2 more moves. I would love to have one more ball handler and stuff. But if Javon Carter can do if Javon Carter is able to play free through Budenholzer, which I ain't gonna lie, if we had another coach, I'd put us higher. But Budenholzer he's just so iffy for me. He just does some stupid stuff. Like not playing Javon Carter and Serge Ibaka in the playoffs was just a really dumb decision, and that cost us that playoff series. It really did. Coaching really cost us that playoff series. But Giannis is gonna be back. Middleton's not gonna come back to probably about a month and a half after, month or two. 1 to 2 months after the season starts, so I think that's going to play a factor. Bobby's going to keep doing what Bobby does. Giannis going to do what he does. I think Brook is starting to age a little bit, and I'm worried about that. I would love to trade for Miles Turner if I'm the Bucks GM and board of operations and all that stuff. I'd probably try to get Miles Turner because he's the closest thing you're going to get to Brook Lopez. He just doesn't have as much of a post game as Brook, but I would try to get him or somebody of that nature because that would be dangerous. Number 6, I got Atlanta. They got DeJounte Murray now. I really like the way that team is looking. They made some trades and got some different role players and things of that nature, like Justin Holiday, or was it Aaron Holiday? One of the Holiday niggas. One of them. I like this construction of the team. I think Bogdanovich can still get better, and he is going to get better, so I'm interested in that as well. Trae Young and DeJounte Murray is just going to be an interesting combo, and I think they're just too good to not be a top. Yeah, they're too good not to be in the top 6, which kind of sucks because at number 7 I got Miami, who really didn't get better. They got worse unless the people that already is on their team get better and step up, which usually that happens for Miami. It's just that is the offense going to be consistent enough? The defense is always consistent enough, but is the offense going to get consistent enough? Also, I forgot to mention earlier, but PJ Tucker is off the Heat and he's on the Sixers, and that's another reason why I think the Sixers should get that 1 seed because they're a really stacked team. They're really stacked. Miami is just so interesting. Because Jimmy's gonna pull him over, but like pull him over the hump. But at the same time, what about Kyle Lowry? How much is he gonna be available? Is he gonna be injury prone still? Is he gonna be hurt? You know what I mean? Like I have questions. I have questions for them. I really do have questions for them. Yeah, I have questions for them. Is Tyler Hero gonna be better? Is he gonna stay healthy? Be there when you need him to? Because I'm not gonna lie. Boston really got blessed those last 2 playoff series. They beat the Nets fair and square, but they got blessed those last 2 playoff series because Middleton got hurt, and then and also Coach Bo was being stupid, and then they went 7 games with the Heat. Although Tyler Hero was hurt for a little, Kyle Lowry was hurt and he played hurt, so like I think the Heat were really close to going to the finals. And that would have been an interesting series between the Heat and Golden State. But they probably would have lost in like 5 because they just didn't have enough offense. Unless Tyler Hero started showing his ass and really start showing his ass in a good way and start like really going crazy. So yeah. But then at number 8, I got Toronto. I love this Toronto team because it's just length. It's literally just length. Like it's just length. And you can't go wrong with length because they all can guard like 1 through 5 type stuff. Or at least a good amount of them can at least guard like 1 through 3 or 1 through 4. Really 1 through 4 because really power forwards are really like small forwards nowadays, and they just move them to power forward because they're a little bit taller and they're versatile and they can shoot the 3. So they're like, we don't need a specific 4 for real, but we're going to play you at the 4 because we got to fill in the position. You know what I mean? So Toronto, they have a really good, solid team. They're young. They don't really have many old people at all. They got Scotty Barnes as well, so I'm interested to see how far they go with him. I think how far they go this season really depends on Scotty Barnes and Pascal Siakam, mainly Scotty Barnes, though. Because if he reaches that next level, they could really start getting good. After that, we got Chicago at number 9. Chicago's really good, but they're missing Lonzo. Ayo Dosunmu, I like him. He's going to be the starting guard for them this year. They got Goran Dragic. They got Andre Drummond. They got some interesting pieces. DeRozan is getting a little bit older, but I think he's really still in his bag. The way he works out and the way he carries himself, I think that plays a factor. I think it's hard to put them as a lock for, a top 6 seed because the Eastern Conference is really like stacked and everybody got better. And I think the Bulls, they kind of just stayed stagnant, especially until Lonzo gets back. Maybe they could be a little bit better, but like they didn't do anything to like wow me. They got a backup center with Andre Drummond, but I think he'll be better when Lonzo comes back because he can feed him the ball better. But Lonzo has to stay healthy. Lonzo's one of my favorite players in the league, top 4 favorite player in the league for me personally. And the impact he has on teams is crazy, but the man can't stay healthy. He literally changes the team's defense and offense, and he spreads the floor for them as well, and his IQ is crazy, but you can't stay on the floor. Once it gets past like January or February, he's always injured. And then the team always ends up going downhill after that. It happens every single year with Lonzo. So hopefully because he's not starting the season, he'll actually be able to go all the way through and then actually stay in the playoffs. But who knows if the Bulls even make the playoffs because he's not there to help them make the playoffs, and they need him because he's their main facilitator. So we'll have to wait and see. I'm sorry, I just went on my Lonzo spill. But number 10, shout out to my Washington people. I got the Wizards at number 10. You got Bill Porzingis. He don't deserve that name no more. Porzingis, well, we'll see if he deserves it after this season. And you got Kyle Kuzma, who's on there. I like Kyle Kuzma a lot. I think Kyle Kuzma has the potential to be an all-star. Actually, let me see something. How old is Kyle Kuzma? Let me see. I'm just using Siri real quick. You know what I mean? Dang, my internet slow or something. Kyle Kuzma is 27 years old, so he's just reaching his the first years of his prime. Yeah, Kyle Kuzma would get really good. I love what he did last season, and it can only get better from here. Yeah, I'm very interested to see where this team can go. This team goes as far as the people who helped Bradley build. That's really what it is. They got Monte Morris and Will Barton. I think those are really good pieces. They still got Rui Hachimura. They still have Denny Avdia. They might want to trade him, but they have to let him do good a little bit first. But yeah, I like it. I got Detroit at number 11 because Jalen Duran, not Jalen Duran, Jaden Ivey, Kate Cunningham. They just got Bojan Bogdanovic. I think they're gonna make a playoff push, and they're gonna make it hard for Washington to get that 10th spot, or whoever's in that 10th spot, because I think you don't trade for Bojan Bogdanovic to lose, bro. Bojan Bogdanovic is a win now type of player because he's already old, but he shoots threes. He's 3-and-D, so like. You don't get him to lose, bro. You get him to try to start winning. You know what I mean? So I think they're going to make that push, even though they might want to tank for Victor Wembanyama, but we'll see. Number 12, I got Orlando. They're just a very complete team. I could see them also making that push for that 10th seed, especially with Paolo Banchero. That man really looks like he looked good, man. He looks good. He looks like a seasoned scorer. Like a seasoned scorer. Like, I'm calm. I'm getting my buckets. I'm going to shoot over you. I'm going to play aggressive when I need to. I'm going to get a stop when I need to. Like, he just gives off top player. You know? Like, that's what Paolo Banchero gives off. And I'm excited to see what he does. You got Mo Bamba, Jonathan Isaac, Jalen Suggs. They have a lot of guards. Jalen Suggs, Markelle Fultz, RJ Hampton. They have a lot of guards, dude. Michael Carter-Williams, I think they still have him. They got Terrence Ross. They have a nice little well-balanced team, but I don't think they have enough to be a lock for the play-in. But I think they're going to be in the hunt because I don't think they want to tank anymore. These last 3 teams, no, the last 2 teams are really tanking. But Number 13, I got New York. The Knicks, I don't believe in them yet. You gotta show it to me first, bro. Like, respectfully, you gotta show it to me first, because I don't see it. Like, you gotta show it to me first. I like that they got Jalen Brunson and all that type of stuff. Maybe I put them too low. Maybe I should have put them at the 10 spot for the play-in. I did kind of just do this right before I recorded the podcast. But I wouldn't put it past New York to be in the play-in. They're not a lock for the playoffs, though. But I wouldn't be surprised if they didn't make the play-in or the playoffs or anything of that nature and be a lower seed. But, I mean, shoot, they could end up getting a nice pick, though. So you never know. If Julius Randle can actually play decent and stop chucking random stuff, maybe they could actually do something. You never know. RJ Barrett, I really like him. He's looking good. I think this team could really be good. Obi Toppin looked like he been jumping out the gym lately. Dude doing under the legs like it's easy or something. Like, what? But number 14, we got Indiana. I love Indiana. Again, I hope DeAndre Ayton gets traded there or finds a way to get there somehow, because that's a really solid team. Like, a really solid team for real. Tyrese Halliburton, Buddy Hield, Miles Turner, who hasn't played in like a year. Who else? Benedict Mathurin, underrated rookie. He might average 20 points per game. I'm not gonna lie. He looks really good. Yeah, he looks really good. I think they should trade Miles Turner and Buddy Hield, because they should trade them for some young pieces or just some type of pick capital or something, because I think next year is the year when they want to start trying to win. They should probably try to get Victor Wembanyama. I love Tyrese Halliburton and what he does, but him carrying them to mediocrity is just not worth it. So y'all should tank. Y'all should tank for one more year. At least one more year. And then see where y'all at after that. And hopefully y'all can get what's his name? Hopefully y'all can get DeAndre Ayton and or Victor Wembanyama, and then we'll go from there. So then at number 15, I got Charlotte Hornets. They just don't have enough. Solid team, but Miles Bridges, you ain't heard nothing from him in a while. He really messed up his bag. I don't think he's playing in NBA again right now. At least not for another year or so. Melo's basically just out here hooping by himself. Well, and Terry Rozier. Terry Rozier is dope too. Gordon Hayward got this weird haircut. I'm not even gonna get into that. Their center play is still garbage. They've been mediocre for the last 2 years and just barely make the play-in just to lose. I think this year they're going to lose really bad. And they really have a shot to get Victor Wembanyama. And Melo and Victor Wembanyama, that could be nice. That could really be nice. But that's my Eastern Conference standings. So I got Philadelphia, Brooklyn, Boston. This is from top to bottom. Cleveland, Milwaukee, Atlanta, Miami, Toronto, Chicago, Wizards, Detroit, Orlando, Knicks, Indiana, and then Charlotte. So let me know what y'all stuff is. Not stuff. What y'all think about my Eastern Conference, Western Conference standings. And I'm excited for the NBA season. I need the Bucks to get this ring at the very least, or I need Paul George to get his ring. One of my guys got to get a ring this year, though. I wouldn't be mad if the Nuggets won a ring also. I think I wouldn't be mad at that, and I wouldn't be mad at Philly winning a ring. Maybe Brooklyn. I wouldn't be mad if New Orleans Pelicans won a ring. New Orleans are one of my favorite teams in the league. I will admit that. They're fun. They just got such a nice squad. I like their squad. But y'all know I'm a Bucks fan first, then I'm a Paul George fan. No, I'm a Bucks fan first, then I'm a Giannis fan, then I'm a Paul George fan, then I'm a Lonzo fan. I keep saying Zach LaVine after that, but I don't think I'm that much of a fan of him compared to I'm a ride or die for Lonzo, Paul George, and Giannis. Like, I'll defend them. I will defend them like crazy for real. But Zach LaVine, not as much. But I still have his jerseys though. Zach LaVine's still one of my favorites. But I just don't I don't support him as much as the other ones, or like I wouldn't defend him as much as the other ones. But anyway, thank y'all for listening to this episode of the Versatility Podcast. Again, I'm your host, JUUUUEEEEELLZZZ. No, I'm playing around. But thank y'all so much. We went over a lot. Marijuana being decriminalized, Biden calls for the pardons of petty crimes, marijuana crimes, federal offenses, and hopefully state as well. We did the Russo-Ukrainian war and potential World War III. We went over Kanye being Kanye and all the different things, his anti-Semitism, Semitic views, along with his text with Diddy and porn video and oh my gosh, and the shop, them canceling the shop episode. I mean, not posting the shop episode because of his views and what he said on the episode. And we ended with some NBA talk because the season starts on Tuesday, October 18th. So let me know how y'all like this episode and everything. We are about a minute. We're an hour 35 in. Appreciate y'all for those of y'all who did stick out this long. I really do appreciate it. And as always, God is dope. And love y'all. Enjoy y'all Monday because it's the beginning of the week and everything. And yeah, love y'all for real, for real. Y'all stay safe, stay humble, and love yourself. Express yourself. Yee. Peace.